Shalom, welcome to another crown jewel word analysis video. Today I want to read quite some from Likkutei Yirah 9 also, and what we'll do, the topic will be right column, left column and center column. Again, we will treat English words, we will hold them on the crown jewel and see what the Lashon HaKodesh tells us about them. And the words are, because if we have, like the right column would be then bones, okay? So bones would be a base for the B, an O top of the nail for the a Vav top of the nail is an O, a Nun for the N, Ayin for the E, and a Samech for the S. That will be then the right column, bones, whiteness of Abba. We will also deal with the word white itself. Then we have, of course, flesh, and that will be a Fe for the F, a Lamet for the L, an Ayin for the E, and a Shin for the SH. Okay, and then automatically with the white we'll treat also the word red. Okay, red. So bones, flesh, white, red, and then we'll treat also the color yellow. Okay, so very interesting study. Let's go immediately to the table and I'll draw it out for you. Here we have it. Likkutei Yirah 9 by Yirah H'ari. The Sefer. As another source, we'll read something from Likkutei Yirah, revealed the Torah of Mashiach as well. We have quite some things to put on paper. Okay, so I might need to flip the paper at a certain point even. So let's go. I would start with right and leftist. Then bones, as we said, it was bones, okay? And bones would be base for the B. I'll put it up here. Bones. So I'll write it backwards now, the English, which is a Vav. O, top of the nail, remember? Vav is usually Zerampin or Tiferes. It's a 6. Can sometimes also be Yisod, but O Vav is top of the nail. So Nun for the N, bone, and then for the E we have an Ayin, and then for the S, see, bones, we had the Samech. Okay. We'll first put here flesh. Okay, so flesh would be F L E S H, flesh. Okay, self, within the self. Okay, so this is a Fe, this is a Lamet, this is an other Ayin, and these two make the Shin, and that's when the Shin has the point on top. On that side, it's on that side, it's an S. Okay, flesh. Okay, flesh and bones. And we'll do another additional thing. We'll put here and. I'll do it like this. It's an and sign. That's A and D. It's probably easier. So, dubio, yes, I'll make it not too big. Aleph, Nun, Dalet. Okay, here goes. So let's start with the right column. This is the whiteness of Abba, bones. Okay, a permutation thereof could be Samech, Vav, Nun, which is sun. Then back to the English, right? Sun, because we have the O Vav, sun. Then Sofit, so S-O-N, sun. And then we get restitutional Ayin Beit. And Ayin Beit is the 72 letter name and it's rooted in Chochma, Atzil. Let's write the 72 letter name later, because first I want to have a good overview that you can see right and left. So, okay, that's one permutation. There's also Ben in it, which is also sun, which is Hebrew. Beis, Nun is Hebrew for sun also. Okay, so this was right. We'll go to the left column, work it out step by step. So, flesh. What do we see in flesh? Well, first of all, interesting, because the end of all flesh is hinting at Bina. And flesh is always Bina. So, after we do this basic part, we'll start reading about flesh and bone in Likkutei Yirah. Okay, so this, the Fe, this is mouth or Yisod or 80. In this case, we'll do first the Gematria, 80. This is 30. This is 70. So that makes 180, and 300 is 480. Which is interesting. It's the value of Lilith. Lit. But it gets way better. Lilith, and so rooted in the left, clearly we have an Ayin Shin, which is 370, eyes of flaming fire. So there's the mouth, vibrations or staff, external side, fire, which is Din, fire, Gevura, left column also, so flesh, clearly left column, and as we proceed, it gets more and more. The interesting thing is when we see that the word end, because now we have flesh and bones, right? Flesh and bones. So it's not only flesh, it's not only bones, it's when you have flesh and bones. And now it's time to start reading. And I've put some special tabs so that I could easily find it. Here we go. I hope that's nice and readable. I can also lift it somewhat. So now, here you already see it, the tikkun. Left dot is flesh, right is whiteness, bones. Then you see the bone with the flesh in bone, and then you see the bone in flesh. Okay? Ima in Bina in Chochma, Chochma in Bina. So this is gate 34, Likkutei Yirah 9. This is a must-have. This is a must-have to learn the Lashon HaKodesh and to learn the right precepts, all the prerequisites for Kabbalah, authentic Kabbalah. Okay, so gate 34, wisdom and understanding. We have learned that Bina, understanding, is flesh, and Chochma, wisdom, is bone. Thus, we can learn a new tikkun. Regarding the verse, wisdom and understanding and having understanding and wisdom can be read as wisdom, bone, and understanding, flesh, which bone is embraced by flesh, and similarly, understanding, flesh, and wisdom, bone, which refers to flesh and bone, mainly marrow. Also, red and white blood cells. Take time to realize the tikkun, realize the bone in flesh and the flesh in bone. Well, here's some more depictions. Really, you should get yourself a copy on bookbaby.com or amazon.com. Might you not be able, could you not afford one? We have a free PDF for you. So here you see it, right? The tree. And then you have the right pillar, Chochma, Bina, Das, Chesed, Kavod, Tiferes, Netzach, Yesod. Right column, Chochma, white, end of all flesh, Bina, left column, red, center column, yellow. We'll get to that in a little. So the order of pillars. The right column is white, the left column is red, and the column, center column is yellow. So these words we'll treat also. Thus we find the Yesod reproduction organ produces these three colors. Okay, we're not going too deep into that because that might be from other video. Flesh and bone, red, white and yellow, but you get it. Right column, left column, center column. Okay, here we see it also. Another allusion to, and we will now analyze the partsuf of Abba. Okay, so here, right column produces white, left column produces red. And this is for further down the line. We had the 72 name. So let me put the 72 name here for you. Yud, He, Viv, He. And this is the permutation that has 4 Yuds, okay? And Yud alludes to Atzilut, Chochma. So this is the 72 name, okay? And that's why Ein base values 72 and is usually done so or so. Okay, so that should be clear. So now, what else can we say about this? Because the end unifies, right? So bones and flesh. So we have an Aleph. Aleph is 1. It's also an allusion to Keter or to 26. Can be many things, it depends on the context. In this case, I say it's the 1. It's the unity, and then we have here the Nun, which means soul. Nun is soul. And the Dalet is the Nukva, or Malchut. Let's put Malchut. So I'll short it. Let's put Malchut. Because I want to emphasize why you could have Son and Av. Why is it Son, right? So really that wideness of Abba, it's a unity, right? So the lineage doesn't come to the Father, it comes from him, right? The Father holds the Son in potential, and through union that potential becomes revealed as lineage. So and it's always the unity, because like bone and flesh, flesh and bone, you just saw it, right? There's always the mother and the father involved in the whole process. So it's about the union. So, and in this, if you say, so bones and flesh, I see here right column, left column, and center column, because the end is speaking about the zivuch, about the unity. Let me put up a tree for you here. Keter, Chochma, Bina, Chesed, Kavod, Tiferes, Das, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod, from the Malchut. Okay, so this was right, left, and center column. Okay. So what else do I notice here? Okay, I see that we have a total of 12 letters. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 12. And you'll see in a little bit what I'm getting at. So 12. Now we had 480, right? 480. That's 480. And we have to calculate this, which is 188. Yes, 66, 50. That's 116, 70, 186, and 288. Okay, so 480, 12, 188. 16, 18, 680. Okay, let me see what we can do with this. So now it will be time after the 12 letters to read this part. Because the backs of the partsafim of Abba and Ima, right, as we just read about, descend, and this is the secret of Israel, Saba, and Tevuna. Right? Understand, this is the secret of 6 letters with a single tegan, and they are the mystery of one hair in good measure. It is written in Eitz Chaim, Beis Dalet Kuf Hey Chet Yud are the secret of the backs of Abba and Ima. But here comes, and these are essence and vessel of Zer Anpin, and this is the secret of 6 tribes to each shoulder, which are the image of Saba, and Tevuna 6 essence and 6 vessels, which create Zer Anpin, which are 6 sefirot Chesed Yesod. And then understand there are 6 tribes to each shoulder and 12 in the chest, which are the 12 tribes engraved in the high priest breastplate. So, see, 12 letters, 12 tribes, Abba, Ve'ima, right and left. It goes on. So, I hope you catch what I'm showing you here. We'll proceed, because the 12 was to emphasize that. So 680, we'll have to look at that, but really my calculation was about these 2, and they make a total of 668. 668. And I think I'll do that first. So now 668 was the same value as Eitzem, which is, Eitzem would be bones, Ve and Baf, Basar, flesh, Basar. So without the mem, it's a 8, tree and flesh. But man is a tree, okay? Man is a tree, masculine, side of Chokhmah. Okay, so an 8 hints at Eitzem. So this is 70, 90, so 160 plus 6, 166 plus 2, 168 plus 500, 668. So same here, 668. And I can show you here in Likkutei Yirah 9 again. Here we go. Hope you can read it. 8 with the mem and basar in it, and basar and eitzem in it. Okay, so that was the 8th and Bazaar, which is exactly the words we were doing in English. So, but let's continue because it gets better. Now we did these 3 columns, right? So we would have white, which is a vav, many bindings on the side, W, and then a hey, and a yud, and a tet, and an ayin. And that would be 70, 79, plus 10, 89, plus 5, 94, plus 6, 100. Okay, 100. And that is 10 times 10. And 10 is yud. And yud is, the base of the yud is chokhmah. Chokhmah. There's no such thing as coincidences, okay? We cannot emphasize that enough. Now, this column is red, okay? And that will be written as such. Raise for the E, right? Shall I do it so? White. Just red. Ayin for the E. And a dalet for the D. This would be red. And the value thereof would be 274. It's 274. And we had, we'll put the end here also. So there was end. I did that differently last time, but that's okay. Aleph, Nun, Dalet. 55. 1, 50, and 4, 55. So where was I? If we connect the 100 plus 55 plus 274, we get 429. And if we take the unity, a 1 for the unity, we get 430, which is the value of nefesh, okay? That's soul. So, nefesh, ruach, neshama, but nefesh can also hint at various soul levels. We'll get to that in a little bit. I forgot to mention one crucial part because in the word, I forgot some permutations, right? So, in the flesh, it's important to see that the word Fei, Shin, Fei, Ayin is included. So that is Shefa. And Shefa is the flow. Okay? And the flow comes through Ima. Okay? So that's exact. Shefa, Lamet, vibrating the flow, right? Vibrating flow. So nourishment through Ima, and you can see like the whiteness of Abba, the seed, it creates life, it gives life, but the mother bears the child, and at a certain stage, she starts giving whiteness through the breast. That is the Shefa, it comes through Ima. Also when the father, with the reproductive organ, when the seed goes from the reproductive organ of the male into the womb of the woman, so the shefa comes through the flesh, okay? So even through the breast, okay? That's where the milk is flowing through. So the shefa always comes through Ima. That was a crucial point I forgot to mention. Were there any other permutations there? Fe, Lamet, well, Yisod, Lamet. No, that was the most important. I think that covers it. And then for the center, so this nefesh, and now we'll get it. I'll do it here. So we're still busy with the center. We get the color yellow, and yellow would be for a Y. We take the Yud for a Y, an Ayin for the E, two Lamets, and Vav for the O, which is top of the nail, and another Vav for the W. That's, yes, okay. Confusing writing English backwards. Yellow. Okay, yellow. So now we have a value here of 10 plus 70 plus 60. 80 plus 60. 140 plus 12. 152. This value is 152. The yellow. What have we? Interesting thing, this 12 is two vavs. Remember, we just read about the breastplate, the two sides, the two shoulders, 6 stripes here, 6 stripes there. Hold on to that. So we have a 152 here, and this was 429. Okay, so 429 would then be white, red, and yellow. White, red, and yellow value together 581. So I'll put a plus here. 581, and 581 is Yisrael plus Mem, and Mem is the womb. But more interesting permutation here would be Yashar straight Me'el, straight from God. Okay, because white, red, unity, center column, straight from God. Okay, straight from God. That's found in there. And then I had another interesting thing here, because the value of, yes, because the yellow, the center column, and let's go to this source first. You can see it also in the blood, right? So there's red blood cells, white blood cells, and it has plasma, which is the yellow. Now, the plasma that contains all the rest, by the way. And we see the same thing happening here, because yellow houses, and a houses is a B. The base is to house. And I will go for the ordinal value now. Ordinal means 1 till 22, according to the location of the Hebrew letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Flesh, and bones, housed in flesh and bones is is 138 in the ordinal, and the amount of letters there of flesh and bone are 12. So that was the 12 I was looking at, which was, plus the base, 152. 152. So there you have it. Yellow, houses, flesh and bones. So it's a full circle. It all fits. Yellow, houses, flesh and bones. So there's really actually center column, and the rest should be united. I'll conclude it because this is really like the technically going through the crown jewel and going through the Gematria. So it needs a final explanation, and I hope you could really see all of it in the bottom. I'll flip it a bit to the top so you can see it better. So yeah, the conclusion is that when we finalize, right, when we analyze the word flesh and bones, we are not just speaking about the body, we are speaking about a structure, right? These are all structures. So the flesh belongs to the left side, bina, mother, garment, right, enclosure, the flow, we had shefa, and the bones right side, chokhmah, abba, structure, seed, inner strength, right? Chokhmah, koach, ma. So in the Hebrew bone, etzem, we found all these traces, right? Eitz, a tree, man is a tree, right? The bones are the inner tree, the structure, while the flesh clothes that structure. So flesh and bones together they form 12 letters here. They hint at the 12 tribes, the breastplate, the structured manifestation of life in the heart. And that heart is here also, right, in oneness, so a center point there. Avir, air, right, breathe the air in the lungs, which is at that height. So, but life is not flesh alone and not in bones alone, so life is in the end between them, and the unification, the zivug. Right, so Aleph here in the word end is then, like we said, the one, the unity itself, and Nun is then the soul extending into life, and the Dalet is the vessel, Malchut, the Nukva. And together Nun and Dalet in ordinal value equal 18, because Nun is 14 and 4 is 18. One life, Chai in unity. So the end is not just a connector, it's the moment when the one becomes life, where unity enters the vessel as a living soul, right? That's why we found soul. That's the secret of the center column, the union, the place where left and right become one. And this pattern is also revealed in the body itself, as you see. And the Torah of Mashiach teaches us many more secrets of Torah of Atzil, where you can see the real construct of the divine in here, in everything around you. So this pattern it's everywhere. So the numbers flesh and bone together, right? Hinting at the same as it is in the Hebrew. Well, I had to take the mem aside, but still it works because it's H3 structure, whiteness, of course. So the bones are the essence, the structure, the lineage passed from father to son. The flesh is the garment, right? The form that's given by the mother. But the secret of life is neither. The secret of life is the union, the end between them, where the one becomes living. Okay? Because you cannot just rely on one. It's not just your mother or your father. It's not just flesh, not just the right or just the left. It's center column. It's Yashar. Yashar Me'el. Straight from God. So I hope this was helpful. Many blessings until the next video.